Are you even ready for the biggest Switch 2 leak yet? Also might be the bluest. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. A very reliable, correct leaker has come out of retirement to announce a whole bunch of Switch 2 leaks, the biggest grouping of information we've had yet on Nintendo's unannounced new console. This has set the internet on a firestorm, and so I had to cover it ASAP. If you guys are excited, hit that like button. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So what do you think? Give me your review. I did just get it done, so I haven't washed my hair or face yet. There's still some dye that's leaked on, so it's giving a little bit of a Mega Man helmet look. But I went for a Detroit Lions blue, and I think we just about freaking nailed it. One of the craziest things I've done, but I'm here for it. The setup here is this is I'm a Hero 2, a leaker who is very involved with Square Enix and Atlas. They correctly predicted recent things like the Persona 3 remake. They've had dishes and details on Persona 6, as well as a bunch of Square Enix games in the past. They've been under the radar and in retirement per se from leaks for a while now, but they popped up a week ago on Reset Era thanks to user Angie. Now, I made a video covering this comment about how a reliable Atlas leaker said that there's a camera type functionality on the new Switch. And now the leaker themselves have come forward with a bunch of information, a bunch of details from the Square side and from the Sega Atlas side. It's really happening, my friends. So let me know your take in the comments down below. I'm gonna go right through it, okay? I think the Square stuff is more exciting, so we'll go with the Sega side of stuff first. Okay, so another Sonic is coming next year, along with Jet Set Radio, Comic Zone, and a new Guardian Heroes. This is just game-related stuff, not Switch 2 yet. Persona 6 is a bit further away than last time I updated. I don't think it's making 2024. The main theme of Persona 6 is black and white. There's another Persona game yet to be revealed, but here's the real good stuff. Switch 2 dev kits have been here with Sega for a while. I can verify it is backwards compatible with a few games tested. New cartridge and new camera feature. So this is super exciting. This shows forward progress and absolute respect for the fan base. All right, so a new cartridge means that the Switch 2 is going to have games that you cannot put on Switch 1. At least that's the sound and how I interpret it. New cartridge to me doesn't just mean bigger cartridge in terms of more memory space to hold bigger games, but actually a different form factor. That's how this is being interpreted and read. And that might scare you, but think of it akin to the DS to 3DS changeover. 3DS carts had that nub, so that cart could not go in your old DS, but DS carts could still happily insert inside of a 3DS. It seems like that's the route they're taking, and if so, I think that's maybe the best case scenario. Your Switch games are all going to work. Your Switch 2 games are going to be the best they can be and will be, at least some of them will be exclusive to Switch 2. Now, I don't want to read too much into this, so we're not going to focus on are all Switch 2 games going to be exclusive to Switch 2? But given the 7-8 year cycle, given that this is back half of 2024, given that it's been a while and we seem to think and know that this system is going to be a major step up for Nintendo in terms of power and performance, having a separation with backwards compatibility, not the worst thing in the world. It highly incentivizes everyone to buy a new Switch, but it also respects your existing library. And who knows, maybe there's a way that they will digitally release some of the games on both, or maybe they'll have cross-gen versions for Nintendo first party for a while. Maybe they'll have, I don't know. There's a bunch of options of what they could do. And like I said, this is stuff and details and nuances that we will not know for a while now. But I think it's going to be a very interesting part of the conversation. How far does Switch 2 push things? Is a Switch 2 a mandatory upgrade? And is it more of a pro half step or no, a real new console? This information tells me it's no, this is the next thing that you got to get. New cartridge, new camera feature. We've already talked about the camera feature a bit in the last video, referencing Switch 2 information and how it could be VR, could be AR, but it really feels like it's going to be more of an AR-centric camera. That's what the general thinking is, and a VR camera just doesn't really make sense, nor fit in with backwards compatibility, nor fit in with Nintendo's kind of MO. Charging an exorbitant amount for a huge VR device doesn't really fit in with how they operate, but an AR camera for weird gimmicky things with Pikmin or Mario just makes a lot of sense. Imagine if your Animal Crossing island could be on your kitchen table. Now that's actually really, really freaking cool. An AR camera, they experimented with it before in 3DS. They have some, history maybe they could actually take it to the next level and based on their experience and ideas, create something that's very cool. I think regardless, it's not going to impact your major games, your Metroid Prime 4, your new 3D Mario, your next Zelda, your Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think all those kind of games will run normal, and it's not like you're going to be cameraing around in every game. It just will probably be a Nintendo gimmicky thing that they like to utilize sometimes, and as a way to help distinguish Switch 2 from Switch 1. Like, look, the Switch 2 not only is better, runs better, performs better, has cool colors, it also has this newfangled camera. It's like a back-of-the-box feature, something they can throw in a commercial, and it's exciting for the audience. It's showing that this is a totally new system, and it's helped separating, differentiating, which is something I think is very important to them. Now, the Square side of things is freaking sweet. All right, he makes some notes about games that Final Fantasy IX Remake was summer 2024, but it's probably going to get delayed. The Final Fantasy X Remake has a skeleton crew. It's not making its anniversary. Square has new PS5 dev kits. We're assuming they're pro, but who knows? And then the Switch 2 megaton, in my opinion. Final Fantasy VII Remake looks and runs like a PlayStation 5 game on the Switch 2 dev kit. Port took no time, I'm told. Could be a launch game, not sure. Now, this would be massive. Getting Final Fantasy Remake on Switch before Xbox got it, that would be crazy. Now, keep in mind, this is Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out a few years back. This is not the upcoming Final Fantasy Remake 2 that's coming out in 2024. So it would be fitting that Sony and Square are like, hey, Nintendo, have the last one. We've got the new one. But diving into the details, there's one word here that freaks everybody out, and that's PS5. How could Final Fantasy VII-R look and run like a PS5 game on the Switch 2 dev kits? I have some ideas here. A couple of things. One, we've never heard that the Switch 2 will be as strong as a PS5. We've heard like PS4, somebody says like Xbox Series S, but more in that range. PS4 Pro, like nothing about a PS5 quality handheld. This is making people question the validity of this entire leak. But as I mentioned at the top, this leaker is very credible, and it's confirmed that this is the leaker. This is not someone impersonating them, posing as them. This is the out of retirement, I'm a Hero 2, Atlas, Sega, Square leaker. I feel like their information is credible, and I feel like they would not come out and make this much of a to-do if they weren't very certain. Some people say, oh, this is a lot of information. How could they know all of this? But maybe they just got really good connections inside these two Japanese-based companies. Now, I think what's happening here is a couple of things. One, I think it's possible that the Switch 2 dev kits have more memory, more power than the actual Switch 2 itself. That's something that has happened in the past with dev kits for upcoming consoles, where they do have more oomph, more power, and then it's scaled back for the actual launch system. Developers need this extra power to develop the games, test things out, and then once they lock in the launch specs, the launch price, then they reduce things. That's happened in the past. The other thing here is a smaller screen size and seeing the difference from Switch 1 to Switch 2, I think is going to have possibly this rose-colored glasses effect in the good direction. I think our eyes are going to go wide because games will look so much better, significantly improved visually from a Switch 1. And on a smaller 7 to 8 inch screen, you're like, dang, that looks incredible, right? It's small, you're seeing it. Maybe this person, just saw an off-camera video. It's going to look better, I think, than it actually will after a long play session, after having this console in our hands for a year or so, because we're just so darn impressed and so used to the Switch 1 visuals and performance. There's no part of me that actually thinks the Switch 2 can pull off PS5 level visuals. I would love it. I think it'd be incredible. It would be miraculous, and it's not happening. So I think that this is not a mistake or a misleading statement or trying to overhype people. I think it's saying dude, on the Switch 2 dev kit, which maybe they do have more power, maybe they're working with more resources, it looks fantastic. And in comparison to what I'm used to on Switch 1, on this nice condensed screen, maybe they do have it looking real pretty. Maybe the resolution combined with the screen type, combined with FSR or DLSS, maybe it is looking just really hot. Maybe they do have it running really well, and maybe the extra oomph of the dev kit is causing some extra level of detail. But I think the bigger part of this sentence here is not looks like a PS2, PS5 game, looks like could be a launch game. I mean, that's super exciting. That would be a huge hit for the launch, like a Sony PlayStation 5 exclusive game coming to Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day. That's a great third-party get. But the part I like is port took no time, I'm told. That's your megaton. That is the one that really should have you the most excited. More than PS5 visuals, more than could be a launch game, more than that Square Enix is really in on this, because we know Square loves the Switch. Port took no time, I'm told. If there is going to be a ease of porting from Xbox Series consoles and PlayStation 5 to Nintendo Switch 2, boom, game over, it's done. Switch 2 is the greatest console ever. There was a lot of third-party support for Switch 1, but it's no secret that porting at times has been very difficult. We have wizards like Panic Button who've made miracle ports. We have companies talking about needing to bring in outside studios and other help, and there's specific Switch port studios that know how to work their magic. If ports take no time, and the same team can easily just port it over like they port it, to PC or to Xbox or whatever, we're in business. We're in a freaky scenario where now the Nintendo Switch 2 is more powerful, sweeter, better performing Nintendo first-party games and all the multi-platform games. If ports take no time at all and we can get the Assassin's Creeds and the Maddens and the Final Fantasies on Nintendo Switch, game freaking over. And I'll end on that high note. I think that is the biggest, most exciting takeaway. The short time of porting, the ease of porting. Dude, if that happens, this Switch 2 will not only have Mario 3D, Next Gen, Metroid Prime 4, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, it's going to have so many awesome games. So many things that you wished you could have played on your Nintendo console, but actually didn't want to because they would have been so poorly rendered and running so slow, frame rate in the trash or in the cloud. No more. Ease of port for games like Final Fantasy 7 Remake, that's going to be a whole new world. So let me know what you think of this massive leak. I think it's very accurate. I think this person knows what they're talking about, and this all sounds like things we've heard. Dev kits are out there, a camera feature, a new cartridge. And man, oh man, the power is impressive. I'm real excited. I cannot wait. We thought details would start leaking out post Gamescom. Here they are. It's going to be so cool to follow along for the next year with all of you. And I'm so glad you're here with me. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Until next time, SwitchForce out.